And so today I'm going to be explaining how to draw a waveform of the output from a daisy chain device. So a typical question like this, you're given the FSM or the finite state machines, the state diagram for the FSM or for the daisy chain. So this is the FSM you're given. The FSM, the specific type is a Moore machine. So Moore finite state machines are characterized by the inputs being inside the states. The input is typically the same for the entire state. So the input does not change while moving from one state to another. It is typically the exact same. Now, this is going to become handy when we start plotting the waveform for this. Okay, so a typical question is you're given the Moore finite state machine or the Moore state diagram. You're given an input waveform. Now, this is the input and this is the output. So you have 3-bit input, 3-bit output, and you have a clock here. So the question would ask you to plot the waveforms for the output of this daisy chain system. Now, from these two things you're given, it is quite easy to do this. Now, there are a few things we need to keep note of. One of them is what state is that particular what state is each of the clock cycles for the input and output. What state? So now we note that there are 3 states in the finite state machine. We have our past state, our idle, grant, and request. Now, we're not going to go into the nitty-gritty of what all the different states mean, but we're just going to focus on how do we plot them on this waveform. So the most important thing is for each of the clock cycles, this is one clock cycle. A clock cycle is characterized as one rise and one fall of the peaks. So this is one clock cycle, this is another clock cycle, and so on and so forth. So while plotting this output waveform, we need to take note of what state each of the individual clock cycles are, because they are in a particular state as you go through everything. So we're going to take note of what state each of the individual clock cycles are in. Okay, let's start. So now, how do we know what state is in? It's as simple as look at the inputs, try to match the inputs binary to the binary of the Moore finite state diagram. It's as simple as that. How do you match the binary? Let me zoom in a little bit. Okay, so now for this first clock cycle, we have here our input is 0, 0, 0. That's what our input is. The next input here is 1, 1, 0. Now we see the input change as you reach the falling edge of the clock. There is a change in the input. So we have 0, 0, 0, 1, 1, 0 as the inputs. What do? Just go to the finite state machine diagram and then you look. Which one of these states has an input 0, 0 that is heading to another input 1, 1, 0? Remember, inputs 0, 0, 0, an arrow pointing to 1, 1, 0. That is what we are looking at right now. Okay, I can see that idle has an input of 0, 0, x. The x here means don't cares, meaning it could be 0, it could be 1. Since it's a binary, we are really not sure what it is. So it could either be 0, it could be 1, whatever, we don't care. But we know that this is 0, 0, so that's probably our input. And how do we verify that that is the specific input we are looking at? Are there any arrows that are heading out of that input that have the value 1, 1, 0 attached to them? Well, I can see this one here. This is don't care, 1, don't care. This could be 1, 1, 0. This could be 0, 1, 0. This could be 1, 1, 1, and so on and so forth. But for here, we're going to assume that what is here is 1, 1, 0. So now we know that there is one arrow for 0, 0, 1, another arrow for 1, 1, 0. This means that this is an idle state. This clock cycle is idle. Does this make sense? Now, how do we find out what the output is? We know that it's an idle state, and we know that idle states are characterized by output of 0, 0, 0 for that particular state. Now, this is specific to more machines. If it was a milli machine, the output for this could be 1, 1, 1. It could be 0, 0, don't care, whatever. But this is a more machine, so we know that no matter where the arrow is pointing to, the output is the exact same across the board. So that's good for us. We now know that the output for this clock cycle is going to be 0, 0, 0. That is the first one. Let's move to the second one. The second one has, the first edge is 1, 1, 0. The second one is 1, 1, 1. So remember, we are still in our idle state. So whatever we are looking at something that is relative to that idle state, meaning the next state has to be connected to the previous state by an arrow. You can't jump from this to, let's say there was a fifth state here that had only this arrow here. You can't jump from this to this. There is nothing connecting it directly, right? So the next state has to be something that is connected to the previous state by an arrow. Okay, so now we have 1, 1, 0, 1, 1, 1. What state can we see that has an input of 1, 1, 0? I'm already seeing 1 here. It is connected to this by this arrow, right? Exactly. And you have this arrow that could be, like I said, this arrow has 2 don't care. So this could be 1, 1, 0. This could be 1, 1, 1. This could be 0, 1, 0. This could be whatever. But here, we're going to assume that this is 1, 1, 1. So now you have 2 don't cares here. You have 1, 1, 0. You have 1, 1, 1. This is telling us that this is the next state. P for pass. And since it is a more machine, we know that we only have one output associated with pass, and that is 0, 1, 0. So that is the output here. You have 0, 1, 0. That's how you do it. The next clock cycle, you have 1, 1, 1, and you have 1, 0, 1. Okay, we have 1, 1, 1, 1, 0, 1. What are we thinking? Now, because we have 2 don't cares here, it could be whatever we want. We have, this could be 1, 0, 1, and this could be 1, 1, 1. So we know we are still in our pass states. So it's basically the same thing, just repeated. Okay, the next one we have 1, 0, 1, 1, 0, 1. Okay, this one looks a little bit interesting. We have 1, 0, 1 and 1, 0, 1. So we know that our past state has 1, 0, 1. So we know this is coming from our past state, which is what we currently are now. Connected to the past state, we have 1, 0, 1. Yes, we have 1, 0, 1 from our, what's it called? We have 1, 0, 1 from our idle state over here. Right? We have a 1, 0, 1 from the idle state. We have a 1, 0, 1 from the past state connected together. This is moving from past to idle. And we know idle has an output of 0, 0, 0. So this falls here. Oh, sorry. Yeah, this is still here. This falls here. And this is 0, 0, 0. Okay, what's the next one? The next one is 1, 0, 1 and 1, 0, 0. Remember, we are in our idle states. We are looking at something relating to the idle states. 1, 0, 1, it could be this, right? 1, 0, 1 could be that. And the next one is 1, 0, 0. The only thing I can think of that is 1, 0, 0 here is relating to this. So this could be 1, 0, 0. This could be 1, 0, 1. Or either way, whichever way you want to switch it around. Okay, so we know the next one is a request. Now, and the request has an output of 1 0 0. So there is a rise in this clock edge here, and there's a 4 here, and there's a 4 here for our requests. Okay, the next one is 1 0 0. We have 1 1 0. So remember, we are in our request state. We want to move out or into our request state. We have 1 0 0. This could be 1 0 0. We have 1 1 0. This could be 1 1 0. Remember, we are still in our requests. So this is a request. Now, the only way this could have been grants, because this is connecting to grant. If this was something else, that you say, okay, maybe that is grants, but it is still our request. So we continue this way, still 0 and still 0. Okay, so the next one we have, this one is a little bit nuanced, but we have 1 1 0, we have 0 1 0, we have 1 1 0. Okay, now we have 1 1 0. This could be our 1 1 0. We have 0 1 0. This could be our 0 1 0, and this is 1 1 0 again. This is our grant. And we know grant is characterized by an output of 0 0 1. So there's a rise here that takes it to 1. This is 0, and there's a 4 here that takes it to 0. Okay, then the last clock cycle, you have 1 1 0, you have 1 1 0. Remember, we are still in grant. What are we doing? This is 1 1 0, and this is 1 1 0. So we are still in grant. And then this just continues till the end of the clock cycle. So this is what our finite state machine diagram looks like. Let me change the font just so it's a little bit more legible. Okay, so that is what our finite state machine diagram looks like. I hope this was helpful. Thank you.